we're with the Channel 5 Action News, bringing you all the news of the Salem witch trials.
This has been a very intense month in Salem, Massachusetts.
For those of you not following this groundbreaking calamity, the Salem witch trials are an ongoing trial, with friends accusing friends of having contact with the devil. It all started with a local slave from the Barbados. Her name was Tituba, who performs voodoo for kids in Salem. Tituba allegedly danced in the woods with Abigail Williams and Mercy Lewis, and a few other friends. Reverend Paris's daughter, Betty, fell into a trance soon after. Same with Ruth. Wait, this just in. Frank Flounder on the field with John Proctor, live in Salem.
Thanks, Rich. This is Frank Flounder on the on-screen report. I am here today with John Proctor, about to be hung from the Salem witch trial. John, what are your feelings about this trial?
It's stupid. The witches aren't true. The devil's not real.
The witches aren't true and the devils aren't real. I have heard that you have had an affair with Abigail Williams. Is this true?
Yes, but I don't like to talk about it.
He doesn't like to talk about it. Thanks, John.
Hang him! Yeah!
Elizabeth!
Back to you, Rich.
That was a great interview, Frank. That's enough hanging around for one day.
Go, Rich.
Also live in Salem, Frank Flounder is now with Giles Corey.
Thanks, Rich. Frank Flounder again here, with Giles Corey being pressed to death. Giles, what are your feelings about being pressed?
Or wait.
For those of you that don't know, pressing is a way of putting more weight on the person's chest to get them to tell them what they did.
More wait.
Giles, are you guilty of being a witch?
More wait.
Thanks for your time, Giles. Back to you, Rich.
Thanks, Frank. That's a very depressing sight. Giles Corey is the only man to be pressed so far. He is not losing any land. It is passed down to his family. It is time for a commercial break. When we get back, we'll have news on Reverend Paris and the dagger.
You ever been accused of being a witch?
I don't understand why everybody keeps accusing me of being a witch.
You ever been accused of seeing the devil? If any of these problems involve you, you need to go to Reverend Hill's one-on-one witch advisor, where I, Reverend Hill, will work with you one-on-one personally to fix all your problems. Your life is in my hands.
We're back at Channel 5 Action News. Yesterday afternoon, Reverend Paris found a dagger on his front doorstep and apparently wants to postpone the trials. Luckily, surveillance cameras caught this incident on film. Here is our Channel 5 exclusive footage.
Oh my god. Oh no, we gotta postpone it.
They were really knocking up for trouble that time. Frank Flounder is now live at Reverend Paris's doorstep with an exclusive interview.
Thanks, Rich. I am here at the exact doorstep where Reverend Paris found the dagger on the ground. He is inside right now, and I'm going to interview him. Reverend Paris, how are you doing today?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. So is this where you found the dagger?
Yep, this is the exact spot right here.
Right here on the ground. Reverend Paris, what are your feelings towards the dagger?
Well, I came outside because someone knocked on my door, and all I found was a dagger laying here on the ground. So I was terrified of my life, so I wanted to postpone the trials.
That's very interesting, Reverend Paris. Thanks for your time. Back to you, Rich.
Great story, Frank. That's what I call cutting it close. I am now aware Reverend Paris confirmed wanting to postpone the trials. That's all the time we have. Now that Frank Flounder and friends, make sure to stay tuned with Channel 5 for our continuing coverage of the Salem witch trials, and stop by channel5.com for more coverage.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Frank Flounder and Friends. I am your host, Frank Flounder. Lately we have been talking about the Salem witch trials and how they are very controversial and who's in it. Today in the studio we have a very special guest, Abigail Williams, and she is here today. Abigail, come on in.
Hi,
Well, Abigail, how are you doing today?
I'm just fine.
That is very good. I have heard that you had an affair with John Proctor.
Yeah, he's so cute. He's my lovesicle. Yeah.
That's very interesting. How do you feel about the whole Salem witch trials?
I think they're true, and I mean, I see witches all the time. They stab me with their spirits and stuff.
When is the last time you saw a witch?
When Elizabeth stabbed me with that needle thing, and then I saw Mary Warren's spirit, I think, also as a bird.
As the yellow bird. I have read about that
Yes.
in the judge trial.
Yeah, that was very scary.
Yes. Danforth and you don't get along very well, do you?
No, he's stupid and mean.
He gives you the creeps, doesn't he? He's very old.
He's very
Right, listen, on this show we give advice to people. I was just wondering if you need advice. Do you want anything to talk? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, I need a getaway plan.
You need a getaway plan. I have. Listen, this is just me here. This is just me. I have heard that you were planning to steal 31 pounds from Reverend Paris. Is this true?
How'd you find out? That was a secret.
I read about it. Yes. And you were going to go on a ship. Yes.
Yeah, it's in Boston somewhere.
It's in Boston. Yeah, I've heard about that. Have you heard about the dagger on Paris's door?
Yeah, I did.
Was that you?
No.
Alright,
That doesn't mean.
Alright, well, I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure. Frank Flounder likes to make sure of things. I mean, what do you
Completely
do?
understandable.
Have you ever imagined yourself in the witch trials being what they are today?
I don't really understand the question that you're trying to ask me.
Would you think that Salem witch trials would be this blown out of proportion with this many people being hung and this many people being accused of being a witch?
Yeah, I mean, the witches are everywhere, obviously, because I've seen them, and some of the other girls have, so I mean, they have to be real. Have to be.
That is a very good point.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, I'm not really sure, honestly. I mean, it's your show, so you should ask me some questions.
Alright, well, I think that is all the time we have right now for Abigail Williams. That was a very good interview. Thank you, Abigail, and we'll come back after this break. Welcome back, everyone. I am Frank Flounder. This is Frank Flounder and Friends. We just had Abigail Williams on the screen. And up next, we have Elizabeth Proctor, John Proctor's wife. Come on in, Elizabeth. How are you doing today, Elizabeth?
I'm just fine. Just got out of jail, I guess.
Were you talking to John in jail?
Yeah.
What did you guys talk about?
We were just discussing about if he should lie or not about the...
Did Reverend Hale talk to you about that? I've heard about that.
Yeah, he told me to lie also.
That is a lot of verbal irony.
Very verbal.
Yes. You and Abigail don't get along very much, do you?
Not at all.
How do you feel about the whole situation with John and Abigail?
I feel like it's kind of my fault because I kept a cold house.
Yes,
Very cold house.
I read about that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Would you have anything that you'd like to talk about?
I mean, don't really know what happened to my husband. I mean, I saw him get hung, but I don't know.
You didn't watch it. I've heard his last words were, "I love you, Elizabeth." How does that make you feel?
I mean, it makes me feel good because I know he loves me and stuff because
He does love you.
About the affair with Abigail.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate about the affair. When you were in the courtroom and Danforth was asking you why you kicked Abigail out of your house, did you want to answer that he had the affair, or?
No, not at all, because I wanted to protect him because I didn't want him to be accused of butchery.
That's very good. I mean, looking back at it now, knowing that you could have got Abigail in trouble, do you wish that you would have told the truth?
Yes, very much, because I don't like Abigail at all.
Mm-hmm.
She like ruined my family.
It really tore you apart.
Yeah.
Why didn't your husband get all 3 of your kids baptized?
I think it's mostly the part because he didn't like Reverend Paris.
Yeah.
Because he's very selfish and stuff.
Yeah, I've heard it. He'd rather use gold candlesticks than the ones that were made by the actual citizens that have been there for a very long time. That could be very heartbreaking towards people who've been going to the church for a long time.
What's for us, I know that.
Yeah, it brought a tear to my eye. I've been going to church for a very long time. Well, that seems to be all the time that we have today. Tune in tomorrow for the results of all the hanging. Thank you, Elizabeth, for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And once again, this has been Frank Flounder with Frank Flounder and Friends. Thank you for your time. Tune in tomorrow.
Rich Gorski.
This is Stever.
Say that.